All right, for this week's technology tips, we're going to be going over bale documentation with the new 1 Series round and square balers that John Deere recently came out with. I'm Zach, this is Luke. We're both out of the support center for C&B.
Yeah. So like Zach said, 561M round baler. Already talk a little bit about the compatibility, and I'll talk about some of the benefits of Bale Doc.
So first off, for compatibility, the thing you're going to need for Bale Doc with a 1 Series baler is the baler itself. The new 1 Series balers come with an internal bale scale for weighing an individual bale, as well as an optional moisture sensor that comes with the baler if you want to order that. The other thing you're going to need is a Gen 4 or newer display on the most recent software. A Starfire 3000 receiver or newer is required for Bale Doc to get the location of the bale of where it's dropped. Luke's going to touch on some of the benefits of Bale Doc here as well, so I'll turn it over to him.
Yeah, so Bale documentation essentially allows you to pinpoint drop a geolocation pinpoint for every bale that you make, and then with that pinpoint, the baler itself records your weight, the moisture sensor if it's equipped, and then once you get an operations center, you can see a whole lot more metrics like your dry weight, your wet weight, your percentage of moisture throughout the bale, your acreage of the whole field, and then how many acres that bale took up of that field, and it's all pinpointed around, which we can show you later in an operations center video.
All right guys, we're up here in a 6R tractor hooked up to a new 1 Series baler. Just going to give you a brief run through on the new Gen 5 display series on how to set up Bale Doc on the Gen 5 display. First thing we're going to do, obviously have the machine keyed on here, but we're going to go into the work setup on the display. And in here, we're going to check and make sure both our tractor and baler are showing up on the display. We got the 6R and the 561 baler. So if we click on that, this is going to bring up our implement profile. And if we scroll down through that here, we're going to have your dimensions and offsets for the baler. You always want to make sure that your offsets are correct on any implement or machine before you go out in the field and run it, because it just makes it that much better of an experience for the operator. First thing to check is just your working width for your baler. Most of these offsets will auto-populate. However, you just want to double check them before going out in the field and actively baling. So once we go through there, we can hit save and close out of this. Next thing you want to select is the client farm field on the screen. If you have one in there, you just enter that in. The other thing you want to check is just make sure your crop type and your operation type is correct. So we got harvesting, we got crop as alfalfa, variety, obviously you don't have to put anything in there, and then your harvest units. We can hit OK here.
So after our work setup is complete, we can hit OK, and then on your main menu page, you can go to menu, and then we're going to hit applications, and then we're going to go down to overlap control. And essentially what this is going to do is put your section for your 15 feet for your working width. It's just going to put that into your row, into your one swath for documentation purposes. As long as that master's on, you should be able to click the X, click back out here, and you should be set up. So on your baler overview page, you should have your client farm and field up in the top left. Your work setup will have your crop type and then a variety if you would choose. And you can set your counters up however you like. And then this is your baler automation page or baler controller page. So within the three pages that the baler offers is the baler overview and the baler total. So your bales will show up here as they're released. And then your work totals for that field. And then you have a harvesting page. So if you use guidance at the same time, you'll be able to see that. And whether or not you have a GPS on your tractor, you should be able to see a pinpoint of where that bale is dropped throughout the field. And you also have some counters there.
The other thing to touch on with these new 1 Series balers, they come with the individual bale monitor from the factory. They call it the new G5E display. Basically, it's John Deere's new version of a bale monitor. Keep in mind, just because this baler comes with that display does not mean you have to run the baler off that G5E. You can run it off of any Gen 4 or G5 command center or a Gen 5 or Gen 4 or Gen 5 universal display that's in the cab of the tractor. It does not have to be run off that G5E. If you do want to run it off that G5E and you want the ability to remote in to the display and see what's going on there, you have to get a separate Ethernet cable to hook up to a modem, a JD-Link modem in the cab, in order to get that to work. And if you got any questions on that, you can always call us at the support center or call your local C&B store, and we can get you squared away there with that.
Looking on to the John Deere Operations Center side of things, we can see a yield map here based on our documentation for baler data. So when it comes in the Operations Center, it comes in as a harvest layer, so you can see this orange outline around the field, and so that comes in as harvest layer like it would for a combine. And then, so this specifically is showing our bale data. So currently this is our yield map for tonnage per acre. And you can decipher on the scale over here on where it yielded good and where it yielded not so good. And you can go in and decipher that. You also have different layers to look at as moisture, speed, wet weight, productivity, etc. To look at and vary between. But more specifically on the baler side of things, all of these different dots here are bales that were dropped throughout the field. And that each bale has specific data that was geolocated based on the receiver and the display. And as you can see here down on the bottom, well, this is bale number 33 that I chose. It shows you the exact weight, wet weight, dry weight, your moisture, minimum and maximum moisture, your diameter of the bale, the wrap type, whether it was selected or not, and then the area harvested for that bale. And as you can see, we click on a different one. This is bale number 7. It has a different weight and different moisture, diameters. Go all the way over here to bale number 40, same thing. So that is kind of where we're focusing on bale documentation, as it can be an invaluable asset to your operation. If you have any more questions about baler documentation or the setup, please contact the C&B Support Center or your local C&B dealer, and we can get you squared away.